Are live. I'm just missing music. Music has been fixed.
Ooh. How was y'all's Monday?
It
was
was
good.
alright. It's pretty easy.
I had left my iPad at the office over the weekend,
Oh shit.
and I felt so much better when I got it back. Were you going through drawing withdrawals? A little bit. Well, because I also downloaded GoodNotes for like school and for like OM stuff. And so I kept trying to like make my notes for Shadow and Bone because we finished the series. And so I was like, oh, I can't do anything.
What did you think of the series? No, don't tell me. I can go on a whole other tangent about that.
Hey, Crazy. What's our order of topics?
I like the order that NJ had on the thing earlier. I don't know, it kind of flowed pretty well, I thought.
Thanks,
Perfect.
I try.
All right, I'm keeping them there then. Oh my god, really? Right now?
Yeah.
Always now.
Okay. Sorry, my 3D slicer wants to install updates now. Fucking thing.
I was gonna ask, how's your 3D printing been coming?
So I had
When can we look at our figurine painting party?
So I started to work on some little things here and there with the 3D printer, especially leveling. My bed leveling went to shit, so I need to re-level it and fine-tune my settings so I can start printing stuff again. But I need to print an adapter to move the fan because it's not pointing directly at the pieces. It's like pointing off like towards the centerpiece, so it needs to adjust and point downwards when I'm doing miniature printing. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It needs like active cooling so that it can print in midair and it'll stay there.
I pulled out a what is it? A canvas holder. Easel, that's what they're called. Easel. I pulled out one of the easels that Alan got me for like an anniversary a long time ago. I just never used it, and I painted like a little forest thing yesterday. It's really nice. So then Alan's just like, okay, I need to use the things I bought now. I'm gonna go mess around with my 3D printer.
Yeah, it had been a minute.
So excited to have a mini figurine painting party with everybody.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same. And I think I need to install a different slicer for 3D printing because the Cura one is just it doesn't allow for exact fine tuning. It wants to help, and that kind of breaks shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill 9, thank you for that stretch. Oh.
What's up, Bill?
What's up, Bill? Bill.
Stretch.
Oh, I opened up Twitch and it's just like boobs in my face.
What?
Oh, he must have opened up the porn version of Twitch.
Did you accidentally open your OnlyFans?
We're joking. Who are you? Oh, we're joking with a friend. We're just like, yeah, it's been like a running joke that Peach has a OnlyFans, but it's only for tech advice. And he goes, I would sign up for OnlyFans. I think Crazy's frozen.
Oh, he's been freezing lately. Crazy. We need a starting order.
I can hear y'all perfectly fine.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. What's our starting
I
order?
can see you move now.
Keelan goes first because she's gonna derail everybody. Don't give me that look.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Doing tech advice without a shirt. Bill 9, you are so right.
So,
put my foot down on that
Keelan,
one.
Alan, me, Norma.
Okay, and on me. Got it.
And so there's a guy we work with, and he's like the nicest guy in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell him, start an OnlyFans where people just complain, and you're just like, oh, that sucks. Tell me about your day.
Honestly, though, they would probably make bank.
Yeah, they would definitely make bank. All right, guys, we're going to start.
The topics we discuss are many.
No story too bold to talk about.
Strictly our own opinions.
But they are opinions from people like you.
Welcome to the NAKE'd Podcast.
Who's super distracted looking at asymmetrical haircuts? Hey, it's Keelan.
Oh, shit. I forgot it was my turn. I drink and know things. It's your DM tech guy, Alan.
Who's ready to body paint Peach for 1,000 biddies? This guy.
Ew. Sure.
My vacation's almost at an end, but I am kind of really excited to go back to work. It's your girl, NJ.
It feels like you've been on vacation for years now.
Yeah, kind of does.
Right? What has it been, like a week?
Yeah. Just been vibing and chilling.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Practiced
what?
on Mortal Kombat earlier and was gonna stream it, but then I was like, no, I suck.
Which one are you practicing?
Mortal Kombat Ultimate.
Yeah.
But seems like speaking sorry. I'm all over the place today. Take it away, Peach. What's going on with Epic versus Apple?
One of those greasy transitions.
It was so smooth.
It was perfect. So, closing statements for today. And these lawyers talked for the Epic versus Apple lawsuit. Smash some buttons. Don't forget to smash that like button. Sorry, I had to. Closing arguments started today. Thank you, Keelan. With Epic versus Apple for both sides. And I'll tell you one thing, they went non-stop since they started this morning up until they finished at 4 p.m. Apple wanted to double down on their the person chooses the device because of the environment argument. You know, how some people go with PC over Xbox or PlayStation, you know, the whole PC master race concept there, or Android versus iPhone argument there. And Epic made it more about, it's not so much the device that you're buying, but it's very difficult for a developer to release an application on any of these devices. It's about the store, where everyone can go to one shop to buy the applications that they need. Which
Right.
I can kind of agree with. Like when you
Especially
really
because
Mhm.
just because the App Store is your only option on your iPhone, like as an iPhone user.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's like on my phone, I have the option of other stores, but you don't really get the support or the security like you do on the Play
Mhm.
Store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But even then, like for some Android devices, there's only the Play Store. And for Samsung devices, we have the luxury of having two. We have the Samsung store and the Play Store, but Apple doesn't have that. And that's the
But even then,
argument.
the Samsung store is like, meh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it the
it's-
Bixby to its Google?
My
Dude,
God.
I don't even have Bixby activated. I've never even had it activated on my phone.
I have no choice but to have it activated because of that extra button on the side of mine. But going back to the lawsuit, it's not Epic versus Apple, but it's an antitrust suit coming from Epic against Apple, saying that they're practicing monopolyism over their devices, which is very true. I mean, are there any other stores for Apple devices?
Mm-mm.
I mean, they're computers. That's different, because you can go and download from any website and install it. But from specific iOS or Apple Phone OS, is it what it's called now? The operating system.
Cat OS, iOS.
Yeah,
iOS, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't know. Like, if they do win this, did they win it? No.
Not yet.
No.
The
Okay.
We
closing
won't
arguments
find
were
out till
today.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like if they do win this, like it's gonna be a good win for them, and it'll be nice because some people do like to have their open options. But then
Mhm.
again, it's gonna open up that door for other people or for other untrustworthy sites to come in,
Yeah.
and people are stupid in general. Like we're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, let's just do that, and they might get scammed. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword here. Like, yay, you get more options. Boo, you might not have as much security. What up, Dom12368?
What's up? Thanks for that follow. I totally agree
Yeah.
with you. Like,
Yeah.
end users need some level of protection. And for Android users, we've already gotten used to having some form of antivirus. So at this point, is this going to start a new market of antivirus applications within this new third-party application store, or is this just going to be an optional store if it does get approved? Like, let's look at life if Epic wins the antitrust suit. Like, what's
Yeah.
gonna change?
Security. It's gonna change. I think like ultimately though, like maybe if it does pan out that way, you have the option of using something that you trust and that right, to an extent.
Mhm.
Like it's secure, like the Apple Store or a Play Store. But maybe the option of being able to go through these third parties should be there. Only because it gives you another option that's not monopolized by just one company or device that you're using. I see the importance of restricting that, but also like I know a lot of game developers. Like I've come to know a lot of really cool ones on my Twitter that are trying to get their apps out there, and they can't do that because these bigger businesses like overshadow them with fees, or you don't pay them for the work that they are actually doing on their own product. They should have the
Exactly.
freedom to do what they want.
Do you guys know how much an application cost is cut from the Apple Store that goes directly to Apple for smaller developers?
Probably at least 50%.
15%.
I was gonna
15.
say around
Oh.
50.
If they make upwards of $1 million, then that percentage goes up to 30.
That's crazy. It should go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. What's up, Spartan? How you doing, bro?
Especially if you think about like all the ads that they run through these others,
Mhm.
especially smaller developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dom, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, this is like Epic's the underdog here in
Yeah.
this lawsuit.
I
Yeah.
was totally expecting a Disney play on this where they just, hold out and run them out of money. Like tie them up in court for so long that people just give up.
What's up, Landon? I agree with Air. Like, that's something that Apple could have done, but Apple cannot ignore an antitrust lawsuit coming from another major developer. Like, if it were anyone smaller than Epic, or I'm trying to think of, like, if it were GameStop suing Apple, like, Apple would just hold them in court in litigation until the other party ran out of money to actually be able to fight. But they can't ignore that with Epic. Epic's gonna keep coming at them.
I was going to say, I think Epic is one of the people who has enough money to actually have a dog in this fight.
Yeah. And
Especially Fortnite.
Feel like Disney will come out of
Right.
nowhere and destroy Apple.
Like, how would you stop like they have Fortnite money, right? That's like a whole nother level.
And they're
They have
advertising to
every
kids.
10-year-old on the face of the earth behind them.
Exactly.
Literally die for them. They're waiting.
Right? Like they've been advertising to kids, telling kids that Apple is a bad person in this. And even in court all last week, all the way through the beginning, Epic has not even suggested paying Apple its fair share of the money that they were supposed to receive by bypassing them to begin with and selling the V-Bucks directly for $7.99 instead of the $10. So there's that too.
So if Epic sold the cards, right? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
could buy the cards. Now, if they sold the cards for $7.99 and you got to put in the code, is that any different than the digital store?
Yeah, that's different. That's a whole different market, not monopoly. That's a whole different market. Look, those cards are available everywhere. Like it.
Yeah.
Now the question is,
So
how
should
is
they
Apple
use
going to
that
get its
as the
application?
structure?
It's more along the question: how is Epic going to get Fortnite back in the Apple Store? Because this is like a big cut of their market. But that application's no longer on there.
I was going to say, I would assume at this point that Apple's the one that started to hurt from it, not Epic.
Mm-mm. Epic's been hurting from it because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are iPhones that are being sold on eBay as if it were a black market item for like hundreds of dollars that have Fortnite installed.
Oh my god, that
It's
Flappy
Birds
Birds
all over again.
Yeah,
Yes!
I still have my phone with Flappy Birds on it.
I don't.
Yeah, I got the thing locked away.
I
You
think
sell it for $1 million.
I think I have my
Heck yeah.
iTunes data that actually has it.
Oh, so you want to hear something weird, right?
Yeah, what's up?
I was cleaning out the closet this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I found a box that, like, I know how long I've had this, right? So I found a gift card for the iTunes store where all you could buy was from the iTunes, like you bought your apps from the iTunes store,
Mm-hmm.
and it was never been used. So I gave it to Puzzle, and I was like, here, you can just, try to use it. She scratched it off immediately. She was, it still worked.
Hey, nice.
So what did you
Tom?
buy?
Oh yeah, what'd you buy?
Anything yet? I know. I'm like going back and forth.
What did you buy from the Apple App Store? Fortnite? No.
Spartan, I still have my Blockbuster membership card.
Probably
Wow.
I have a card.
Spartan, you need to like frame that and put it on the wall, like legit.
Yeah. So what'd you buy? Puzzled.
Oh, I haven't bought anything yet. I wish I hadn't have bought like Good Notes or Procreate yet, so I could buy that. So now it's because it's like I never buy apps. I think I've bought like maybe 5 ringtones. I know one time I dropped a whole $15 in Backstreet Boys songs and albums. But I rarely ever buy anything from like the App Store or iTunes or anything. So it's like, what do I do?
You party hard, Garth.
Party hard, Wayne.
So like this opportunity of a third party market for this stuff. It kind of gives me like a little like LimeWare vibes. Like we're gonna see that pop up again. And I could understand like from a perspective of security as well as making sure the item that you're buying is legit and you don't get scammed. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see it play out more. So we find out Friday, you said?
Yeah, we'll find out Friday how this goes. I mean, we can find out sooner. Expected projections are Friday. Other people are saying till Monday. It depends with the jury and it depends on the judge as well. But if Epic wins, they're not just gonna change the way Apple basically establishes an app market, but it's going to change the way everyone establishes an app market. Like Microsoft with its Windows Store, Xbox, fucking Game Pass Store, Nintendo Network, not Disney, Nintendo. It's going to affect all of them.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I mean, there's so many lawsuits coming out against big tech right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to set like a precedent of, are judges going to hear big tech lawsuits, and which way are they going to rule?
Yeah, I agree. Like, did you hear about the deplatforming ban that came through in Florida?
Yeah, well, some of that is also coming through on Texas.
Mhm.
And so supposedly what I've heard is that Texas actually has a better bill that's going to protect smaller creators against big tech,
Mhm.
but Florida was just the first one to get it out.
I mean, DeSantis is ready to get anything out, isn't he?
Well, I'm glad that at least one governor is standing up to big tech in some way.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's definitely a challenging thing to navigate, especially because when that big tech can bring jobs to your state, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the big thing, you know. Do you risk pushing them out? But on the other end, there's so many other there's so many of the, I guess not big tech, but medium-sized tech companies are moving to Florida right now to get away from, you know, California and their rules and their taxes and all that. And, you know, the COVID mandates that are still in place in California are still driving smaller and medium-sized tech people, and they're all establishing in Miami. Like, evidently, Miami is blowing up as another tech hub,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
which
shit.
is, you know, kind of cool. And so, a bill that's going to protect the smaller tech industry, I think, is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally
And also,
agree.
there's a lot of money in Miami too. Like, there's a lot of wealth to fund those startups too. A lot of things are should be changed in the next couple of years.
Mhm.
Maybe we would have to redraw some state lines soon.
Heck yeah. That's where I was leaning into. So,
Real quick,
another.
but before you jump into that, Landon, thank you for that follow.
Thank you, Landon.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
What's up, Crazy?
Yeah, no. So it's nothing's really happened in the matter so far. But in the last few days, well, over the last few years, there's been a push for something called Greater Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's some counties in California and Oregon who don't feel aligned with, so like Oregon for one, right? Oregon's the big state that this is happening in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everybody east of Portland doesn't like what's happening in Portland, right? But Portland has more people. So when laws get passed, Portland can overrule the rural areas. So the rural areas think that their needs will be better met by the people of Idaho rather than the people of Portland. So there's been a big push for some counties to switch from being in the state of Oregon to the state of Idaho. And there's a few counties in California that have talked about it, but the big push is coming from Oregon. And
5
the
counties, right?
and the 5 counties and the county governments are actually voting on this. And so far they're in favor of doing this. Now, the downside, what's stopping anything from happening, is that both state governments would have to vote on this, and then the federal government would have to approve it. So
Wow.
it's not really going. I definitely don't think with the current administration that they're going to allow something like that to happen, because
Oh
no.
no, Crazy
Emergency
froze. He froze mid sentence.
We leave you quivering with anticipation.
Anticipation. There he is frozen. Oh no, Crazy.
Why'd you gotta go?
What's the next word?
Because of why?
Call an ambulance.
There he
Hey, there
is.
he is.
for him.
Okay.
He's back.
So for some weird reason, my internet connection just keeps swapping from landline to Wi-Fi, and it freezes me every time. So but I'm back.
Disable your Wi-Fi and just you're good.
Well, that's
That
the
should
issue.
do
The
it.
Wi-Fi is giving me the best signal at the moment.
Oh
But-
no.
Oh God, we need to
So,
fix your. Anyway, go on.
with our current administration, I don't think they would allow this to happen because you would be taking away from Democratic controlled state and giving to a Republican controlled state, right? So it doesn't make sense for them to okay this.
Mm.
And there's a few other things, but this is really kind of getting the idea of secession versus redrawing of states in people's minds.
Mhm.
And I know here in Texas, a representative from Fredericksburg has already
J-Bo.
proposed a bill of secession, and they're reintroducing that bill to kind of jump on this tidal wave.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to think about that. But going back to what you're talking about, Oregon and Idaho particularly. Oregon, and we covered this in our past episodes, have just passed that legislation where they approve psychedelics as a form of like medicinal use, right? So it makes sense that this is the outcome from legislation like that. You have people who, Oregon in general has gone through so much this past year, especially, with what is that? The Portland, where they took Oregon last summer for the protests. Was it in Oregon? No, that was Seattle, right? That was Washington.
No, yeah, that was in
Seattle.
Portland.
What was it?
You're talking about the autonomous zone?
Yes, that zone. So, it makes sense that these more rural areas are like, you know what, like I stand for change in some ways, but this is the way I believe in, and I think that this other state would be more favorable to, I guess, my opinions, which I can understand that. And at that point, shouldn't that be a state to state issue and not a federal issue? Like that would be.
No, you're right.
That would be my assumption.
And I could see the federal government coming in and the secession, like a state trying to leave.
Mhm.
But on the other side, this is like people not feeling represented, and all they want to do is move to another state, but they just don't want to move, right? So, if the states agree on it, I think that it would be fine, or
Yeah.
at least if the people voted on it. If
Yeah.
the people voted and they say we want to be part of Idaho, and Idaho says okay,
Well,
then what's
yeah.
going to stop them?
Oregon State. The representative. No, honestly, that sounds cool to me. Like realistically, we are all nation, even though we're all different states. We should.
But honestly, like every state is different, right? Like if you lived in California and you left California because you didn't agree with those policies because you couldn't change them, then leaving to another state that better reflects your values is unfortunately the answer. And that's what maybe these people are experiencing. Now, whether or not that's the right call, I'm not a citizen of Oregon or soon to be Idaho to make that decision.
Yeah, and if anything from the census tells us that, so for like the first time, California lost seats in the House of Representatives, right? Texas
Mhm.
gained, California lost, and I think Pennsylvania lost. So these huge Democrat strongholds, people are fleeing. Something's not right, right? Something they're voting on, their policies are, something's wrong with them. Right.
I think too,
instead of listening to these people in these areas, they're just continuously like, no, you're wrong, and just forcing their opinions upon these rural areas. And how do these people? What other option do these people have at this point?
Yeah.
That remains to be seen. And I think too that a lot of people are looking for some type of balance too. Like the scales have been tipped from one side to the other, especially the last 4 years, right? On no matter what side of the pendulum that you're on, it's either extreme radicalism, left or right, and a lot of people are looking for that middle ground. Like, okay, I agree with this, but I also understand the rationality of this. So where do those people fit in?
Yeah.
and especially on the West Coast right now, it does come off that they are censoring that middle of the road opinion, right? And so, like we were talking about big lawsuits. I mean, the Steven Crowder lawsuit is one of the biggest lawsuits of our time, but you
Mhm.
don't hear anything about it.
Yeah, same thing
You
happened in
know?
the H3H3 lawsuit. Like they
Yeah,
suppressed the crap
exactly.
out of that. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's going up against Google about censoring moderate opinions. Like that's the whole point of the lawsuit. And we have you even heard about it? You know what I mean? Besides one of us talking about it, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's an issue.
Yeah. I agree. So when do we find out if like all this will go down with Oregon and Idaho?
We probably that's the bad part. I mean, this has been going on for years at this point.
Oh
So
my gosh,
really?
really? It's
yeah. So I don't think anything will ever come of it past this, but it's at least a fun little idea for us to bat around, like redrawing states.
well,
Like,
technically, don't we already have a 51st state, Dom? Like, didn't they make DC its own
Yeah.
state?
no, they can't make DC its own state. That
Well,
would be
They
that would
already
be crazy.
they already passed something saying that it would be a 51st state and it would get
Or
representatives.
maybe it was a bill proposed.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
proposing a
sounds about
bill,
right.
but that would be that's a really bad idea because the whole purpose of DC is that it houses the federal government, so
Mhm.
no state has leverage over it. If it was a state, then a governor more or less would have leverage and can affect national policy. So if we're going to make a 51st state, it should be Puerto Rico, not
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah,
I agree with
totally
you.
agree.
100%.
hmm
100%. Anyway,
So, NJ, tell us about this junior crime junkie.
I was trying to find a segue. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I got you. It'll be a hard segue.
Succeeding from a state into kidnapping. I don't know. Maybe the citizens of Oregon will think that their people were getting kidnapped by Idaho. But there's an 11-year-old girl over the weekend. Actually, it was last Tuesday. Her name's Alyssa Bonell, and she loves SVU. She's a little crime junkie in the making. And somebody tried to kidnap her, this man, and she did what any crime junkie would do. She knew from these shows that she had to leave some type of trace to link him to her. She ended up getting away thanks to tactics that she learned in these shows, and she even implanted something on the suspect that identified him when they actually found him, and it was blue slime. It was like blue glittery slime. She was playing with it at the bus stop. He tried to attack her. She got away from him. She left him with some blue slime. So when they found him, he still had the slime on him, which kind of like linked him. Oh my god, this happened in the town. He said, "Oh, it happened in Pensacola? I didn't know that."
Shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that happened, and it ended up with the arrest of a man who's apparently had previous offenses of against children. But yes, like Landon, I'm a big Law and Order fan too. I'm a huge crime junkie, and J-Bot in the chat definitely knows this about me because we are crime junkies together. So I just thought it was like so smart of her to think that quick on her feet. Like if it was me, almost 30 years old, I don't know if I would think that fast.
See, I totally relate to Ice Cube in that show. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Where you gotta ask a question.
Oh no! Crazy froze again.
Is it Escambia County, which is in Pensacola? That's crazy. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting, especially because she had the foresight to try to find some way to link this person with her. I'm not late. You're late. No, Scary, you're right on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Law and Order is great. I kind of wish. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I used to watch a shit ton of Law and Order, and I don't think I could have been that quick on my feet.
He's back.
Oh, I said jinx. Y'all both can't talk. Y'all.
No, what are you
it's
talking about?
Me and Puzzled. Y'all said go ahead at the exact.
Okay.
But yeah, I just think that was really great of her to think of something like that. You know, like in all these like court cases that I listen to or that I follow, there have been a lot of, well, I wish we had more evidence, or I wish there was DNA evidence to to convict this person. But what happens in the case where DNA evidence maybe wasn't tested because that wasn't a technology that we had, and those people are put on death row? So why do I know it was a little laggy. I think it should be fine now. Scary.
We're talking shit about big tech, so now they're striking back.
No,
Jeff
they're not
Bezos.
allowed.
Daddy Bezos is mad at us.
Damn it, Daddy Bezos! Let us stream.
Everybody's already mad at Elon. Let's just add Jeff to the list.
I mean, Blue Origin isn't gonna go anywhere.
Wait, the IT guy's Peach. Is it back, guys? It looks fine on my
thought we're
side.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, let's be on my side.
I am not seeing any issues. Oh wait, no. Yeah. Fucking. Sorry guys, Streamlabs had a hiccup there and it disconnected. It's attempting to reconnect. I think it's up now. Huh?
Oh, it's frozen again. It's good now. Darn.
Okay, cool. That wasn't a me problem. That was a Streamlabs or Twitch problem. Could have been. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, what were we talking about? NJ? DNA?
I think we lost Crazy again.
Damn
But
it.
yeah, like what happens in the case that somebody doesn't have enough DNA evidence or that technology wasn't there. So around like 4% of hello Itoli. Around 4% of like defendants that are wrongfully convicted in the last 44 years, 167 people have been exonerated from death row. So I just wanted to give you that statistic now. Back in 2017, a man by the name of Liddell Lee, he was executed for the murder in 1993 of a Diana Reese. So basically, he was convicted of this crime, and throughout the entire process, he maintained his innocence, saying, I'm an innocent man, I didn't do this job, and there was no physical evidence linking Liddell Lee to the crime scene. Well, now, 4 years after he's been executed, Liddell Lee, in conjunction with the Innocence Project and the ACLU, they are trying to get new DNA tested. And when they did, they actually uncovered that, sorry, I was distracted by Crazy Lean.
Yeah.
Come back. So when they did, they actually found another man's DNA evidence on the murder weapon that had never been tested. Never been tested.
What?
Yeah, never been tested. The murder weapon. Never been tested for DNA. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no physical evidence directly links him to the murder. And now they are they added this person's DNA profile to this database. So in case anything happens, they could, try to find a match on who this person is, because it's a mystery man. They have not yet run it through the state searches, so there could be a hit there. But when they do it on the federal, they've added it to the federal level. So not all these systems talk to each other, though, and that's the problem. Some of these cases, they happen in one state and they could happen in another state, but they never get connected because they don't use the same systems. Welcome back, Crazy. We missed you.
I reset my network router, or my network drivers, so we should be all right now.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm getting a stable, good connection now.
I know he froze again.
And I agree, Dom. No, come back. I agree, Dom. I think they should take death row seriously in every state. Like, I'm from Texas. I believe in the death row. Like, I think that there's crimes that you cannot rehabilitate from. However, 167 innocent people were exonerated in the last 44 years alone from death row. Like, that to me is like, without a doubt, without a conceivable doubt, that's how you should be convicted. And to not even DNA test a murder weapon, even in the 90s, gosh, I can go on a whole tangent about junk science. They use these tactics to say, oh yeah, we found a hair, like a strand of hair, and it looks like it matches this guy's. Like, that's junk science. There's no way that this would hold up in court today. So now this man who was in prison for 24 years was executed. Maintained his innocence is literally his last words, that he maintained his innocence. And it's possible that the killer is still out there. So why do these things happen? And what can we do to stop it? In addition to all this other stuff, this happened in Arkansas. Arkansas is also being accused of moving up some execution dates, because around the time that Liddell was executed, 3 other inmates were also executed. And they moved these up, and they denied the appeal or the stay on his execution because the expiration date for these injections was about to expire.
So, I mean,
Not okay.
that is kind of messed up. But at the same time, a lot of people sit on death row for like 20 years. So if I'm like, I've been on death row 15 years and they're moving up my execution date because some stuff's going bad, I don't. That's not terrible. But if it's like, no, this person's been here for 6 months, we got to get rid of him. Okay, no, hold on. We got to go through some appeals, and we got to do some processes first.
I see that, but also I see the point of, like, new evidence and new technology comes every day, right? Every year. So, like, while I do think that death row is there for a reason, right? Like, I agree with it to an extent. I do also understand why they wait so long on death row, in case they do come across new evidence or new technology or scientific ways to say it, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I mean, like, there should be like a minimum, I guess. Like, if you've been on death row 10 plus years, then if your date gets moved up, I don't think that's an issue. Now, if you've been on death row for less than a year, that's a whoa, let's hold on. This guy has not got their due process, right? Like, they haven't got their appeals. So let's not do it right away.
Yeah, pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
The other thing to tangle with is, sorry, Puzzle. The other thing to tangle with is that he had requested appeals and the judge denied it. He denied it multiple times, and he said, well, you know, we are consistently denied these claims because they're frivolous. Like, at the time of at the time of conviction, this was without a doubt like the best that we had in science. But not allowing this new evidence that shows DNA, like, that is a whole other different circumstance, in my opinion. And that could happen in 5 years or 15 years. Sorry, Puzzled.
Yeah. Puzzled, what were you saying?
I'm so passionate.
It's just really frustrating, because what probably happened in this court case is they just wanted to convict somebody. They just needed to say, oh yeah, we caught the guy.
Yes,
and so that's why they didn't, you know, DNA test the murder weapon. That's why they never did. It's because they're like, oh, we got the guy. We're good. No, nobody has to worry now. And it's just so frustrating, because they go through these things without full due process, without 100%, yes, this is the person that did it. And that's my only problem with death row, because I'm for it. You know, you did bad thing, you go to a bad place. But you have to be 100% sure. Not even like trial by jury.
Yeah.
Because those can be rigged. Not rigged, but, you know.
The media could sway people.
I mean...
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Oh no, he froze again.
So something else I will let you guys know. So this came on the heels of OJ.
I'm back.
This came on the heels of OJ's acquittal. So Liddell Lee is a black man and Diana Reese was a white woman. And a lot of people speculate that this had a lot to do with it. Now, I don't know. I haven't read that much into that particular, theory. But I mean, when you're talking about like, oh, well, this needs to be done, and he didn't have an alibi, and he was around this place, and it seems like a good fit. Maybe. I don't know. I have to do a little bit more research there, but I thought that was an interesting thing to also bring up since you mentioned that.
The OJ murder trial was always like a question mark in my head until he came out with a book, If I Did It.
I did it. Oh
Right?
my god. Oh, If I Did It. This terrible book title.
But on that too, like I've always viewed Death Row as like your 100, like the guy that the Dark Knight killer, right? The guy that tried to do a mass shooting in a Dark Knight, and he killed like 3 people.
Oh, in Colombia.
Yeah, that guy, Death Row, right? This guy who it's questionable, minimum of life in prison, right? Like we can work off of that, but Death Row should only be for certain. Yes, like we know this like we caught the guy gun in hand shooting people. That should be the only instance for Death Row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to laugh right now because all I can think about is the Goofy murder trial, and it's really inappropriate.
I'll do it again.
Murder.
But yeah, like you were saying about juries, though, like we just saw from a high-profile recent jury that made a huge conviction, but it did come out that they were swayed by the events that were going on around them and public opinion at the moment. So, can you say that was a fair trial?
The Derek Chauvin case?
Yes.
No, but I mean, well, that one for sure. But also the Casey Anthony case, there's been a juror that came out, said that she wished she would, stand her ground. The Scott Peterson trial is another one that, shows you that the media does such a great job at convicting Nancy Grace.
Like the Bernie trial. There was a murder in East Texas, and it was an older woman. The gentleman who helped her, if any of y'all want to watch the movie, it's called Bernie.
It's Jack Black.
My hometown. And the guy was so nice, and in just a fit of insanity, he snapped because she was an old, bitter woman. So he snapped. But they asked the residents in the town, would you give Bernie a fair trial? And they said, no, we let him off. She deserved it. And so they
knew the woman
in Texas in order for him to get a fair trial.
Wow.
It's actually a great movie. It's not a funny. It's a Jack Black movie, but it's a great he does a good performance in it.
Oh, you
they
weren't
actually
kidding.
interview people that were around during that time. They went to the town. They interviewed the real residents. And it was Jack Black and Matthew McConaughey.
And that's what they say. Like she made everybody's life miserable. Like they don't know how he put up with it as long as he did. And then when he killed her and spent all her money, he built the new church and he built a new wing to the school. Like he spent the money on the community.
Mm-hmm.
Still a murderer though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he killed her and put her in the freezer.
But maybe somebody not. No, just kidding. But yeah,
Jesus.
so we're in court this episode. In case you guys didn't realize, we're talking about all these different court cases. But yeah, so that's interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on this Liddell Lake case and updating you guys as more things come up. I have a Google alert. So
you want to know another case to keep an eye on?
Which one?
A current event is court here in Texas has ruled that the current COVID relief that prioritizes race and poverty level over need, they ruled it unconstitutional. But the downside is the money's already been spent. Like they already gave out all the money.
So now?
Yeah. So the issue came up was that they were giving out the money on a race bias first, right? So white and actually Hispanic people were last on the list to get COVID relief for restaurants, right? So the court here in Texas ruled that is unconstitutional, and you can't give out money based on people's races, right? Like you just have to
That's
come
racism.
first come, first serve, right?
Like PPA.
Yeah.
But the issue is the money's all been spent pretty much. Like the 26 billion that was allotted was spent in like the first day. So what do? You can't take the money back. You know what I mean? Like those are struggling businesses that need the money. But again, it wasn't a fair treatment to everybody else.
So the real question is, who distributed the money? Was this the federal government or
The
the
Biden
local?
administration.
I'm trying to root for you, Joe. I really am.
Sounds like
when
Daddy
it
Biden
comes
needs to come up with new money.
I understand there is correlation between race and poverty lines, but I do think when it comes to these small businesses that it should be on a scale, right? So like kind of like how they did with giving us the stimulus checks, right? So if you make between this amount of money and this amount of money, you get this much amount of stimulus check, right? Then that should be the same thing with small businesses. If you earn between this and this between, in a certain year, you get this amount of stimulus relief. Like that's how it should have been done. That would have been the most fair.
And also the Paycheck Protection Program was already the precedent that was set. So they should have followed that precedent for all the other small businesses. I mean, that seemed to have worked out well. I mean, I haven't heard any businesses that needed the money that didn't get money.
I did hear about people who are going to jail for filing for the Triple P loan fraudulently. Apparently, there's several millions of dollars that were given away. One dude in Florida was caught with a Lamborghini Huracan.
Oh yeah, well that's it. Also, a downside is they just processed it so quickly. And that's like in this same court case, they just knocked it or ran it through. So the money was spent before they actually knew 100% where it was going and who was getting it. So as long as you filed, they're just like, we'll just settle the debt later. And that was one of the bills that we passed here in Texas to forgive, small businesses for that loan.
You want to hear something else that's interesting? This happened to me personally. I get a call from my HR department at work, and they're like, "Hey, we got a unemployment claim for you," and I'm like, "What?" I've been working for my company for almost 10 years now, and I'm completely baffled. And it turns out that somebody had my information, and they tried to get unemployment. And they said I had been out of work since September. And I had to call like the Texas Workforce Commission, and then I had to freeze my credit. I had to do all these other things because somebody was trying to fraudulently, defraud the government out of unemployment, checks. And like when it could go to somebody who actually fucking needs it, like that pisses me off more than anything.
That happened to 2 of our employees.
Oh,
we got letters in the mail with notifying us that 2 people had filed for unemployment. And then we know of another one down in Rockport that it happened to.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's the big thing, about them. It seems like the longer they extend all these extended unemployment benefits, the worse the more fraud. Like the people are finding ways to cheat the systems, and it's hurting. Now it's starting to bleed over and hurt people that are actually working.
Contribute to these shortages too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like my sister, I recently found out that one of my sister's friends was actually abusing the system, and I'm so proud of my sister. She like got a call for an interview with a social worker or whatever it is, and they're like, yeah, so about this person, they're telling us that they live at A, is that true? And my sister's like, no, they live at B. They make this much, they do this, they do that. She's making this much money under the table.
Damn.
Like my sister, honest to God,
Yeah,
like my sister's no snitch.
As somebody who's worked the entire pandemic, Ethan, like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. No, like I get it, but at the same time, like I would if I was a different person, I could see milking the benefits, right? But I like work and I like my job. So it's not a. I'm not there for the money in the first place, right? Like I could actually
Yeah.
make more money somewhere else, but I don't know. It's
There's
My
something
depression
nice.
really like my month-long of furlough, so.
Like you're doing it not because it'll earn you more money, but because it's something you enjoy doing and it's something that's to your
Yeah.
speed, right? Crazy.
I think that's yeah, and I think that is always a big issue. So like I was thinking about some of this weekend, right?
Mhm.
Like I think our generation is suffering from a legacy problem, right?
Mhm.
We've gotten to the point where we're existential and we're like, what is our legacy going to be? Because we see our parents and our grandparents. And
Flames. Just kidding.
well, and not that, but yeah, somewhat, right? And like how do we make it better? And sometimes that can be overwhelming, so it's just easier not to try.
Well, let me try to remind y'all a little bit of our childhood. Like we were always told, there's the American dream and all you got to do is work hard and you'll get to where you want to be. But like 9/11 when 9/11 happened,
9/11.
we saw the American dream die before us.
Mhm.
Like there's just no going back from that.
That was traumatic as fuck.
Yeah.
It was a shock to our system, but we also I think we reacted just like we did to COVID, right?
Mhm.
Daddy help. So we allowed the government to step in and take too much power. And we haven't recovered from that.
Mhm. We never truly recovered from 9/11. I agree.
Because after 9/11, then we had the housing crisis, and then we had 2012 where we all
Swine
thought it was
flu.
going to end.
It
Yeah.
was swine flu, and then 2012. Do you remember those people who took out like crazy loans and stuff like right before that? A moment of silence for those idiots. Moving on.
Hey Landon, I'm sorry about your local GameStop closing. I mean, figured with the way the stock is now, it wouldn't close, but dude, I'm sorry.
AMC to the moon, everybody. Whoop, whoop.
Is this a new one?
Yeah, it was, well,
Yeah.
so they put out a long time ago, right? That GameStop was the first one they were targeting. They have like a 3-year plan on this stuff. So it's like GameStop they targeted, and GameStop leveled out at like $100 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one was AMC, and then it was Nokia. Those were the 3 that they targeted.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
Nokia.
AMC has been slowly climbing up. I think it was around just under $14 today.
Yeah,
Let these fucking things die.
most of these guys now, they're targeting Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, even with the little bubble over the weekend where they dropped. Like they're coming back up.
Oh yeah, Ethereum almost back up to where it started before the drop. It's all the whales, man. It's people like Elon.
Oh, Elon? Yeah. Well, didn't Goldman Sachs just like recently recognize Bitcoin as like an asset?
Yeah.
Wells Fargo did too.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh my god, this is gonna change the world.
I wonder.
That's right. But you should have bought it last week. Everybody should have bought as $100 worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah. It would definitely.
Did we tell you guys about the show? Did we tell you guys about the show that we're watching, the startup?
No.
Ooh.
Alan, you want to explain this? You can probably explain it way better than I could.
So, startups, it's kind of an oddball cast or an oddball group of people coming together to actually create a cryptocurrency. You have a crooked FBI agent, you have a money laundering Haitian, you have a kid, or a dude in his 30s whose father was a big crime lord who's on the run, and you have a girl who is oh my god, she's Puerto Rican, right?
Genius.
No, she's Cuban.
She's Dominican.
Thank you. I was swirling.
She's Dominican.
There. She's Dominican.
She's fucking genius. She's
a computer genius, and she created her own cryptocurrency, and
that
the show's fucking
used,
awesome.
Yeah, it could be used without any borders. It doesn't have like any country assigned to it, and you can move without anything. So it's a very fucking interesting concept. And the more they talk about it, like at first they're like, no. Every bank that she took it to, they said no. And then the more they talk about it, you're like, You're making some points.
Yeah, and I mean that's some of the beauty of a lot of the cryptos, right? Like, so Dogecoin isn't the issue with Dogecoin, right? Like, it could be something like that, but also there's no way to really control the value. So somebody like Elon can pump it up, and then it can crash down. There's no backing to it in a way, right? Because there's no caps, there's nothing like that. Like Bitcoin, there's a huge amount of Bitcoin that is in a safe that will never be sold, right? In essence, it's
Like
locked
$1 million or something like that.
And
Or a
there's-
million
It's like
Bitcoin.
a million Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And then you have other ones, right? Like Ethereum is fast coming up behind it. Ethereum actually does more processing than Bitcoin currently, right? And then you have ones like Polygon, which do even more than Ethereum. So it's like we're at the beginning of cryptos, right? So for us, it's like, why not buy it, right? You know, because you can see like Polygon, which is around $2 a coin. Nothing's stopping it from getting to Bitcoin levels. It just hasn't got there yet. So why
just
would
not
you
as
not want to
popular.
buy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you not throw $100 at it and get 50 of them? I
And see
mean,
what
what's the
happens.
worst? Yeah, what's the worst? You know, you make $200 or you become a millionaire. You know,
Or you lose
in
$200
10 years,
or $100.
or you lose
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
that's,
right.
dude. That's one bet in a casino in Vegas.
Yeah, we were not financial advisors.
Yeah, we're not financial advisors. Do not take anything we say serious. Make your own decisions.
That's you on your own.
Yeah. Make sure to research, but I mean, I'm down.
What do we got going on this week?
So I think Circle of Jerks is before anything else. We're gonna spend some time fucking around on the Minecraft server. We just had a
we got that.
refresh.
Yeah, we got the new server up and running, and so we're
Pretty
gonna
speed.
debut it Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm loving Scary's daily logs.
Oh my god, me
Yeah.
too.
I'm gonna have to do a daily log too.
Like, Gary, if you're listening, you need to be there Wednesday.
Yeah.
I will track you down. I'm tired of getting the no invite. Scary, you're being invited and everyone sees this.
This is an official invite. Here, let me give you a close up, crazy. There, close up,
Okay, clip
done.
it.
Art,
Yeah.
is it ready now?
Yeah, it's ready. Right, you're closed up.
Look at me, Scary. You will be there Wednesday and you will like it. Scary wife, take care of this for me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be there, bro. I mean, we need you right now. We
And
we
then,
need you.
do we decide if we're gonna open the server up to all of Discord?
Yeah. I already moved it. It's open to
All
everyone
right.
in Discord. You just have to request to be whitelisted. So as long
So
as
if you're
there's
a Minecraft player and you would like to be on the official Millennials Minecraft server, just let us know in Discord and
Yeah.
we'll add you to the list.
under the Circular Drixing game group, you'll see it. Minecraft and Minecraft whitelist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a white list? Why can't it be a brown list?
Yeah, why can't it be a brown list?
Because that's not what that means. This is
Just like,
technical.
how do I answer this?
I'm gonna put all of you on the blacklist. No one's allowed on the server. Anyway.
Why is it called the blacklist? I'm just kidding.
We broke Peach.
I love you.
What are you
Oh, no
ladies
problem,
doing
Don.
Thursday?
It's there if you change your mind. Puzzled, you gonna come back with Final Fantasy with Catalyst?
Yeah. Unless something happens on her end, we will be back on Thursday with some Final Fantasy 14 online.
Nice.
Get to use my peacock finally.
Yeah.
Is she
Hey,
finally
that's
gonna
my
let you fly?
Friday night.
Huh?
Is she finally gonna let you fly?
Yeah.
Your peacock?
Yeah. And Yami said, because I was fucking around yelling last Thursday, I was like, peacock! And he goes, yep. Anytime you pull it up to write it, that's how you have to, how you have to say it.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. totally agree. It's genius.
See, that's the thing. You gotta be so careful with what you say, just because you get locked into things like that.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do on Thursday?
I don't know. I really want to do an art stream, but I'm gonna stream tomorrow too. It's my last day off, so want to do one afternoon stream in addition to last week's. So we'll see. We shall see. Be a game, maybe art. We don't know yet. See what we're feeling that day. And then Saturday we were finally back with D&D.
Nice.
So excited.
You can catch D&D on Puzzled's channel from 12 to 3 Central Time.
Ooh.
So, NJ, what would it take to get you to paint Peach like one of your French girls?
What would it take if Puzzle did it to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm still waiting for our 500 followers so you guys can do our makeup.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so nervous.
No lessons.
I've been practicing.
No YouTube
NJ.
lessons.
Did you see how I did
No.
her makeup today?
I'm gonna get one of those doll heads like they had on that circle show.
Circle.
The circle. Good idea, actually.
Who should we raid? Can we raid the correct Etch-a-Sketch this time?
Yes.
We could do that or Prez.
Let's raid Prez. We haven't raid Prez in a while.
Ooh, okay. Someone get me
Even though he
Prez's username
didn't
in
respond
chat.
to my tweet this morning.
Prez?
I was
You can
about
clip.
I was about to talk smack to Peach because he never did. But then he responded.
Oh no, I liked it. I remember seeing it in the afternoon, and when I liked it is when I got the notification for it. I'm like, I like that. Like,
Mash.
I smashed that like button.
It's the monster smash.
He did the
We did
like.
the match.
You
It
smashed
was a
that.
graveyard smash.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Alright.
I have a lot more sneezes, so can we go ahead and raid? Because
I hope that's the correct one, guys. Make sure to hang on to your butts while we engage our raid now button. Thank you for being here, guys. I love each and every one of you. Shout out to our producer of the
Bye.
week.
It's a
Yay,
me. I'm the best.
Zebus.
Wah, I'm the best.
Wow.
You know, I was talking a lot to Luigi last night when we were playing Mario Party.
Yeah. We kicked his ass.
Puzzle. I try to get my sister to play while they're here, but because Puzzle never likes playing with me.
Did they have a good visit?
Yeah, they had fun.
That's
And
good.
And